anyone can wear the mask. You could wear the mask. If you didn't know that before, I hope you do now.
I love Spider-Man. I'm recording this intro after the fact because I forgot to record an actual good one. But here's me doing the actual tier list. Enjoy.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Okay, let's start it off with the Raimi trilogy. God, I love Sam Raimi. I'm gonna bump it up to a nice A tier for just a solid movie. Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is the best live-action Spider-Man movie. It's great. Like Sam Raimi's direction. Spider-Man 3. What makes Spider-Man 3 oh so good isn't really what makes the other two very great. It's a very memeable movie. It's not like that great a movie, but it ages like a fine wine. You know, that collection over time really makes you appreciate what it was. I mean, a lot about it is not great, but I very much enjoy Spider-Man 3, so I'll put it in a good old D tier. The Amazing Spider-Man is like the base of what a Spider-Man movie should be. It does everything right, but it just checks off a list. The Spider-Man story is like very bland. It doesn't do much with Spider-Man. It's more in depth on Peter Parker, which I like. It's like Spider-Man's there, you know? It's like, oh, there's Spider-Man, and that's all there really is to it. Amazing Spider-Man is C tier. Spider-Man 2 is going next to Spider-Man 3. There's so much just like plot lines setting up for future films, making weird decisions just for the sake of characters to be added in. There's like 3 different stories going on in the film at once. Also, the suit is the best of all the live action movies. Now we're to Tom Holland's movies with Spider-Man Homecoming. It's B tier. A lot of people are big Tom Holland fanboys. I get it, but I'm one of the haters. I'm one of the people who think Marvel doesn't know how to make a Spider-Man movie. But with this movie, they actually had a lot of elements that worked. So it's like, wow, this feels like a young, fresh, energetic Spider-Man. That's kind of where it stops because it's a very Marvel Cinematic Universe version of Spider-Man. So I'm giving it a B tier because it's a good movie. I remember walking out of the theater thinking, wow, Spider-Man is back. Spider-Man Far From Home, this gets an F tier because they wasted Mysterio. Mysterio is such a cool villain, and they could do a lot with them, and they really just barely crack the tip of the iceberg with what they could have done with Mysterio as the main villain for this movie. It's really dumb. There are some redeemable parts, like some cool little taste that they don't serve a full meal of. The part where he like learns how to use his Spidey sense at the end of the film, that's fucking sick. That was really cool. But they don't do anything with it. It's just like kind of there. And at the end of the film, they're like, yeah, Spider-Man, he learned how to use his spider sense. And that's only because they just forgot it existed when they were making Spider-Man Homecoming. So F tier. Spider-Man No Way Home. When I came out of the theater after watching this movie, I said to myself, this is my favorite movie. That opinion has heavily changed because the hype of having Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back, it was spectacular. It was amazing. But that's really all this movie. That's the essence of the goodness from it. Once you slurp up all that juice from this popsicle, it's just the ice left. And it's really sad because they bring back all the old villains, they bring back the old Spider-Man, and it really makes you want to think, wow. The problems with Far From Home and them like not being able to make a proper Spider-Man movie without like hints of just MCU, like the taste. I have the taste of Marvel Cinematic Universe in my mouth, you know? I still have the taste of Iron Man in my mouth, and I can't get it out. And this movie does a little to help that, but it's really just halfway, or I don't even know if it was halfway, but near just the third act is where it's like, oh, okay, this is a cool Spider-Man Spider-Verse film. Before then, everything with Doctor Strange and all that, not only is it just not doing well at breaking the mold of the MCU, but it's also just kind of not a good movie in some parts. Like the CGI and a lot of the green screening, it just makes this movie feel so bland. They also could have just delayed the movie. A lot of people think delaying movies is a bad thing, and yeah, that is when they're in production initially, like before everything is filmed, when they're finding a director, writing the script. But once a movie is like in the filming process and being edited, give that baby time to bake. You know, you don't want a half-baked cake. It's no good. It's just sad. But I'm just gonna put it with The Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, because like it's a fanboy's wet dream. It's a Spider-Man fanboy's wet dream. It's my wet dream. But besides that, surrounding these movies have really been lackluster. Let's stop talking about subpar, mediocre, or even bad movies. Let's talk about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's so fucking good. This movie is not just a great Spider-Man story, it's a great movie. It's flawless in so many ways. The animation is beautiful, it's great, it's so fucking good. I cannot stress enough how like well the writers understand the characters and just know how to write a good movie on top of the movie, the animators, and every scene just looking like a fucking Renaissance painting. It's amazing. You can take a screenshot of any frame in this movie and hang it up on your wall and it would be a sick poster. There's not like much to say. No, there's a lot to say, but like you can sum it up all very easily just by saying it's great. Now for the sequel, and the reason I made this video because I walked out of the theater loving this so much that I just wanted to make a YouTube video about Spider-Man. It does everything this movie does, but better. Like, not only the animation is just, Jesus. Halfway through the film, or a little more towards the end, when he's fighting him on the train, I literally thought to myself, these writers just understand these characters and how to craft a story about them incredibly well. They just know Spider-Man, which you think is something you wouldn't have to say when talking about Spider-Man movies, but you know, the MCU exists. So now you'd think that'd be the end, but we do have one more little inclusion here. We have the Spider-Man PS4 game, and I know this isn't a Spider-Man movie, but when a video game is better than most of the Spider-Man movies that have come out, then it deserves a spot on the list. S tier. Spider-Man PS4 is just a fucking amazing Spider-Man movie, and the Miles Morales game goes with that, since it's pretty much just DLC for the game. But they just beat the movies, which is like weird but incredible to say. Well, I love Spider-Man, and so should you.